Hey everyone, welcome to the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag with Sports Insanity Podcast. Host here, Bill Murphy. How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on, folks? How we doing?
I'm doing great, and then glad, Bill, you're doing well, good as well. Tonight's topic here on Mixed Bag is going to be underrated TV shows.
Yeah, if you have been hanging with us for the last couple weeks, you've noticed like 2 weeks ago we did TV shows that we thought were overrated.
Yep.
Today we're doing TV shows that we think are underrated. And this is a bit of a hard list, but we'll talk about that in a second. Also, like last week we did overrated movies. That was fun. A lot of relationships were tested though last week.
Oh yeah, it was pretty crazy.
A lot of relationships were tested. And next week we're going to be doing underrated movies.
Oh yeah, cannot wait.
And yeah, I just want to say a few things. One, okay, I think I only have a couple. Like this was actually harder than the overrated stuff, because I was actually talking to Justin today. Tell me if you agree or disagree.
What's that?
Underrated TV shows is actually harder than overrated shows.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I mean, Bill, why don't you explain overrated, underrated, and we could go from there.
Okay, and you know what? And what I've been saying the past 2 weeks. Overrated doesn't necessarily think we think it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Overrated means we just think maybe those TV shows and those movies get a little too much praise than they deserve. It doesn't always genuinely mean we dislike said movie or TV show. Well, okay, some we did.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch with JT last week. Oh boy, he got fried on a few things.
Oh God, you got to bring that up again.
Yes, I did. If you want to, guys, go back and watch that last week. And then yeah. So underrated. It's weird because I think overrated has a negative connotation, but I think underrated kind of has a more positive connotation.
I mean, overrated. I mean, I typically, this kind of goes along with what you just said. Overrated is kind of like easier to come up with stuff, but underrated is definitely a harder one to come by. So,
because you're going to be thinking about shows that only 3 people in Arkansas know.
Yeah, literally.
No offense to the great state of Arkansas.
No, of course.
But yeah, we only have a couple. This isn't going to be like we've had, like, we really wanted to get Dan back because he had a whole list, but he couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately. But yeah, like it's not going to be like last week when it was like, what, 3 hours?
Yeah. So,
yeah,
things happen.
And today it's just the two of us.
We can
make it if we try. It's the two of us.
Yeah,
you and I. Yeah, because this is our first time we've had doing a show, just the two of us, since March 10th.
Yeah, we haven't done. I mean, like I said, we haven't done. We've had so many guests on the show; it's been insane. So
hey, that's a good thing.
I don't see why not.
So because today, some of the people who we wanted to have on, they just couldn't make it.
Yeah,
or they just weren't interested. And don't worry, folks. If you were getting used to the folks we've had on the past couple weeks, maybe some of them will be back next week.
I think.
Hopefully they'll be back next week.
Next week we have a full star-studded panel.
Hopefully next week we'll have them back. So today you gotta listen to just me and JT talk. So sorry guys.
Yes. It's okay, everyone. It's all good. We are just okay, and we're all good. Bill, why don't you listen? Why don't we do it this way today? Why don't you go first and you listen, because we literally could only come up with 2 or 3 examples.
I could only come up with like 3 or 4, and okay, my first one is okay. when we had Dan on and we were talking about overrated shows, one of the things that came up was, of course, Family Guy.
Oh, yeah.
But now, today, I'm going to be talking about Seth MacFarlane's other animated show, American Dad.
I thought you would say that.
I think American Dad is grossly underrated.
I mean, I can't judge. I've never seen any of the Seth MacFarlane shows, but I can definitely see your point, though, because no one really talks about that one.
Because when people think of Seth MacFarlane in animation, they usually think of Family Guy. Like, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think American Dad's even on Fox anymore because, Family Guy and plus the other freaking animated shows that Fox put out, because they're probably like, please watch. Okay, yes, we know The Simpsons and Family Guy is getting stale. Please watch something. Anything. Please.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because I remember Fox has this Sunday night block of animated shows that they would call it Animation Domination. They have The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, another show which I'll bring up a little later. But yeah, I think American Dad is just, for those of you who haven't seen the show, Stan Smith is a CIA agent.
Okay.
He lives at, hey, Heidi Weidenbender?
Yes, that is some people are in the chat board, Bill.
Hey, Heidi. Okay. He who lives with his family in a town called Langley Falls, Virginia, lives with his wife, Francine, his two kids, Haley, his daughter, Haley, and his son, Steve. And, Stan's like the traditional American conservative Christian. His daughter is his wife's like the housewife. His daughter's like the hippie liberal. I'm not trying to get political here, just telling you what's going on.
Right.
And the son, Steve, is like a nerd. And also two of what I think is the best characters in the show. They're talking goldfish, Klaus. Now, guys, I am not on drugs, I swear. That's real.
Oh boy.
Even though it just became legal in New York, doesn't mean I've been doing it. But yeah, who was actually a German skier. They died and they put his brain into a fish. It's complicated.
Yeah.
and also my favorite character on the show, Roger, the alien.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it is because, the alien living with the family, I think it's been done in other TV shows. It really has. But I don't know. They just make it so unique. Like, I just love how he has like a different disguise every time he goes out. He has like an alter ego. It's just like, and he gets into just these weird situations, which is that person. He's like that person you want to go hang out with on a Friday or Saturday night and get into all these like shenanigans with. He's just an absolute blast. And Klaus, the fish with the German accent, it is absolutely. I can't say some of these jokes because they're a little.
That's all right. We got you.
Yeah, but Roger, he had this alter ego, called Ricky Spanish, who was like a total prick, and he's like, and they're like, because it's Ricky Spanish, Steve. Well, who's Ricky Spanish? The worst persona I ever came up with. Ricky Spanish. But yeah, and also Stan I love because he's that, that he was actually based off of Archie Bunker from All in the Family, I heard. And he is that, closed-minded conservative. I'm not saying that all conservatives are closed-minded, but I'm just saying that's how they're depicting him. And another thing I like about the show is, they portray Stan as like super conservative and his daughter Haley is like super liberal. But what I like is that they sort of they provide a nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
They don't try to take one side or the other. They don't try to take one. They're not saying Stan's right or Haley's right. They're just trying to keep it. Because I watched a commentary thing and they said, you know, we want to keep a balance or else it's going to look like we're just doing liberal propaganda. Their words, not mine.
Yep.
And so we wanted to maintain a balance and showing that both of them can be at their worst. But yeah, I think this, and Steve is like just the typical nerd. But it is like, and he gets into all these shenanigans with his friend and Roger. But it's like, I'll be honest, Steve's entertaining, but I think like the stuff he gets into is kind of like the least entertaining of the show sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's bad. It's just, you know, compared to the other things that are going on. But yeah, I think American Dad is grossly underrated. It always gets overshadowed by its big brother, Family Guy. And because it's like the weirdest thing. It's like, I used to be a big Family Guy fan. I still am. The early shows, the early seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Not now that it's crap. But, and American Dad, it was just there. You know what I mean? It was just there. It's not good. It's not bad. It was just there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when Family Guy started getting bad, I started watching American Dad. I was still watching Family Guy, but it's like, it's so funny. I feel like, in my opinion, Family Guy got worse, American Dad got better. Family Guy got worse, but American Dad got better. So, yeah, I think American Dad is grossly underrated. Okay. My next one, we're going to stay in animation for now. I got two other non-animated shows. We'll get to those in a second. The next one, and this was also another animated show that used to be on Fox. It's called King of the Hill.
Why have I heard of that?
Oh, you've never heard of it?
No, I have. I'm trying to think. What? It was on Fox, you said?
Yeah, it was on Fox.
It's not the Cleveland show. It's the other one I'm thinking of?
No, this has nothing to do with Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my bad.
It was created by Mike Judge and Greg Daniels, the same team who brought us Beavis and Butthead.
Okay.
Yeah, the same team that brought us Beavis and Butthead. It's the show about Hank Hill who sells propane and propane accessories.
I have heard of this. You're right. Here, hold on. Here, go ahead. If you want to share, go ahead. Hold on.
Who sells propane and Oh, what? You want me to pictures?
Yeah, if you want to pull it up, go ahead.
I'm the host now, folks. JT, you're out. No, I'm just kidding.
I am no longer the host, but Bill's going to show you guys what he's talking about, so we have an idea of what's going on. I'm still monitoring the chat board here. Keep chatting. So yeah, you said King of the Hill, correct?
King of the Hill. Where's the share screen?
This is really hard. I'm trying to think. I'm on Google right now. Yes, I know what you're talking about now. I kind of look like him right now, actually, which is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but anyway, Hank lives with his he lives in Texas with his wife Peggy and their son Bobby.
Yeah.
And with his friends, that's Hank.
I look like Hank right now.
That's Dale, his friend who's like into like conspiracy theories and thinks aliens are. It's hilarious. And there's a running joke in the show that he has a son that doesn't look like him.
Oh my God.
Because his wife, Nancy, went to this Indian guy, Native American guy, John Redcorn, for a massage. And basically his son is basically not his son. It's basically John Redcorn's son. and it's like a running joke in the series, and it never gets, it never get like you as the audience know, but and maybe this is good that throughout the series they never go, Dale, Joseph's not your son, he's actually John Redcorn's. They never reveal it to Dale that Joseph's not his son, which I think is good because we as the audience already know and we don't need more exposition. But on the other hand, you're thinking, gee, I would love to see his reaction.
Yeah.
Then you got Boomhauer, who talks in like random nonsense.
I really look like Hank Hill right now.
You kind of do.
It's a little scary if you guys think about it. And for those of you in the chat board and watching this live or on rerun, I really look like Hank Hill right now, which is a little weird that you chose this show. Just saying.
I chose this show for you. I chose it because you look like Hank Hill right now, JT.
I am Hank Hill.
Yep. And then you got Bill, who is Bill. Bill, who is his neighbor, who is a army barber, and he's alone, and he's single because his wife slept around on him.
Oh my God.
And I'll be honest, he is like one of the most depressing characters in the show, but sometimes it's funny. Not that I'm making fun of depression. I understand depression is a very serious condition, and if you are experiencing it, please go get help.
Yep, get help.
And treatment. But they kind of play it more for laughs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there is, like they do have scenes when Bill is attempting to,
Ooh. Yeah. So
do something where he's attempting to, I'm not going to say because I don't want to get you demonetized.
Oh my God, we're not even monetized yet.
Okay, you know what? I'll just say it. That he plans to off himself.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like, but the rest of the show, they play it as your standard suburban comedy. Like Hank's wife, Peggy, is the typical suburban wife who thinks she deserves better. You have all these, I would say, I think why I think this show is so great and clever is because some of the storylines are great. Like, some of it's just basic things, but it's also, but they just I think the thing is, it's like when you get shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons, that rely on mostly Family Guy. Yes, Seth MacFarlane, I'm praising you and picking on you all at once.
Right.
But the thing is because I think Family Guy kind of focuses itself more on gross out humor. And
yeah. Yeah, we got you.
Well, King of the Hill, I think it's more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
But, it shows that it doesn't need those gross out humor and sex jokes to actually be a good show.
Yeah.
Because I think it was successful for a bit, but it never really caught on like The Simpsons or Family Guy did.
No, yeah, that's true.
Well, I think King of the Hill was before Family Guy, though. I could be wrong. But
yeah.
But yeah, it ran, though, for how many seasons did it run?
It's over? I thought it was still on.
No, it's over. It ran for about 13 seasons.
It's a lot of seasons.
And, another thing that I like, they have this Laotian neighbor who is Asian who at first doesn't like Hank and the gang.
Mm-hmm.
He calls them dumb. He calls them rednecks. And Hank's son, Bobby, has kind of a crush on his daughter. They're in an on and off relationship, but it's it's not like the actual, it's like the 12, 13-year-old type thing. But it's kind of funny how the Laotian neighbor actually respects Hank. I actually find that kind of funny and interesting. But another character I want to talk about is Bobby, Hank's son, because he is basically the not good at sports, not even that good looking, but has a great self-esteem. He's wants to be a comedian. He's like the short, chubby kid who's always making you laugh. But like, that trope has been done to freaking death. That trope has been done to freaking death. But
just want to give a shout out to Matt Hemsley, who is joining us. He is in the chat board as we speak.
Matt Hemsley, our dear friend, is here. Like, he was here last week with us. But hopefully, Matt, you'll be here with us next week. I know you said you weren't too interested in coming tonight, but hey, we hope you'll be here next week if you can. If you can, great. If you can't, no hard feelings.
Super packed panel next week. Gonna be great.
See how it is. Anyway, yeah, that.
So,
I think. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go.
Can you hear me now?
You're good, Bill. You're good. Sorry about that.
Okay. Because I think the thing is, it's like, again, this show has been overlooked by The Simpsons and Family Guy. But yeah, I think this show needs some more respect. It needs some more respect.
It's some love.
So that's why I really like King of the Hill. Okay, my next one. JT,
yes.
You're going to bet money that you have never heard of this show.
Can't wait to not hear of it.
And I'm going to probably bet that 85% of our audience has never heard of this show.
Let's go.
Okay, about 95%. Okay. There was this show. Go. It was on HBO. It's called The Newsroom.
Nope.
Told you.
Wow, you're good. Told
you, folks. Okay, The Newsroom. It ran on HBO for 3 seasons. It was created by, I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, JT, Aaron Sorkin.
I've heard of Sorkin, yeah.
Aaron Sorkin, the same gentleman who brought us The West Wing.
That's a good. I'm putting that on my list. Thanks for mentioning that.
And we'll talk about that when we get there, because I love West Wing.
Great show.
Aaron Sorkin, and he also directed The Social Network.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan of that movie, but
The Social Network.
Yeah,
it's good.
And also directed his new movie, which got nominated for Best Picture, but he didn't get nominated for Best Director. And that is the movie Trial of the Chicago 7. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. Not sponsored.
What was Just that? Plug in anyways.
Yeah, but I am really a big fan of Aaron Sorkin. Trial of the Chicago 7. The Newsroom.
Mm.
It's about a news anchor named Will McAvoy. He's played by Jeff Daniels. The very first pilot, and you've probably seen this clip viral.
Yeah.
He's on a panel in Northwestern University.
Okay.
He's at a panel in Northwestern University with a bunch of other journalists, and this one college girl says, "I would like to ask you guys in one question, can you just in one sentence, can you describe why is America the greatest country on earth?" And the two others give their answers, and then they go to Will, and he's giving first just bullshit answers, and then he said, and then they ask him, "I want a human moment for you. I'm going to ask you one more time. Why is America the greatest country?" He goes, "It's not."
Wow.
It's not. You're joking, right? He goes, "Nope, I'm dead serious. It's not the greatest country on earth." And then he goes on this rant about why it isn't. And then he gets in trouble for it, and things at the news network get a little twisted. they bring in his ex-girlfriend to be his new producer. So there's tension there. But what I actually do like is they show what's it like working in a newsroom, especially during events like they showed one during the Tucson shooting in 2011, I think that was in. Yeah, 2011.
Yep.
And they show
pictures for you.
They show like what's going on there, like and also the thing that show, and also I think like one of my favorite episodes is I have two and they're from the first season, but one of them is like actually during the Tucson shooting, because Will recently got in a little bit of a celebrity trouble because he went on a few dates and one of the girls went to the tabloids and saying how horrible the date was. And Mackenzie, his ex-girlfriend, now has a new boyfriend, and he's upset about that. And they're arguing about it. And then they get a word that the Tucson shooting happened, and they gotta and the Coldplay song "Fix You" is on.
Ooh, good song.
Is being played. And what I like is like going on during all this, the crew is like gathering information, because I think in the scene when Will's about to hop on the air, he has a tabloid there that says "My date with Will McAvoy," and he just throws it off the table, which is simplifying, hey, there's bigger things than than the petty shit in my personal life right now. And another one of my favorite episodes is when they cover the one about Osama bin Laden being killed. And it's like they're like trying to play it off like we got top secret news, the president's about to speak on the air, and they're like waiting on official confirmation. And they're saying I say, listen, we got word that bin Laden's been killed, but we're waiting on confirmation from the White House. And it just shows like the shenanigans of them waiting to get confirmation. And this is funny. Because they were having some party beforehand, and there were special brownies there. You know what I mean by special brownies, JT?
Oh, I know what you mean. And for those of you who are at home who are young enough to not realize that, we're not going to tell you, but that's okay.
Ask your parents.
Talk to your parents about brownies.
If you're under 16, go ask your parents.
Might be 15 nowadays, my friend, but that's okay.
If you're under 15, go ask your parents about brownies. But he had a few, and on the, it's just so funny seeing him in that state, and also there's also a scene when some of the members of the news team are on a flight coming back from the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and this scene, which was probably my favorite scene in the series. Okay, sorry if I'm being too long-winded here, but
no, you're good. Just you're good.
They're getting a whatchamacallit. They're getting everybody on the plane's like, I hear the president's supposed to be speaking tonight. Going, oh my God, what's going on? They don't know what's going on yet, and they're all freaking out. And one of the news crew members stands up and goes, okay, guys, listen, there hasn't been a terrorist. Because, oh my God, has there been a terrorist attack? And they go, there's not been a terrorist attack. None of your friends and family are in danger. The president will be speaking tonight. And then the flight the head flight attendant goes, don't take over the cockpit. And going, listen, they're scared. I'm just trying to calm their fears. Go, don't take over the cockpit. And he goes, you talk again, I'm having you arrested. And she goes, listen, no, I'm getting the captain. He goes, yeah, get him out here. And the captain comes down. He's like ready to be Mr. Tough Guy. And he goes, and he's looking at them. And they're like, sir, is there a problem? Going, Captain, my name is Don Kiefer. I work for Atlas Cable News. And so do those guys. I want you, your, I don't know, assistant and your flight attendant, crazy lady, to know that our armed forces have just killed Osama bin Laden for you tonight. And the president's going on to report the news.
Wow.
And he's like, seriously? He's like, yes, sir. And like, and then like back in Will's problem, he's happy because he had the special brownies. Because, kids, brownies make you happy, right? Right, JT? Brownies make you happy.
Damn it, Bill.
Who doesn't like brownies?
I love brownies.
Brownies are delicious. Brownies are absolutely delicious, and brownies made you happy. And
yes, they are.
And he's like right there. He's just and Mac goes to the boss, who's played by Sam Waterston. Charlie, when can we go on? Say, we haven't gotten confirmation yet from the White House. And then goes, Will, look at your phone, please. Your phone. And go, oh, guess what? I just got an email. And then Mac looks and goes, OBL confirmed, knock 'em dead. And Sam Waterston's character goes, who was it? Who sent it to you? Joe Biden, then Vice President, now President Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and Will's go, well, Charlie, funny story about how Sam and I know each other, about how Joe and I know each other. Goes, what the hell are you waiting for? Get your ass on the air.
Oh, God.
and like when they're prepping, like there's like a humorous moment when he has two papers when it says, Osama bad, Obama good. They go, oh, okay, good thinking. And then, like when they're ready to go on the air, like the crew members are putting on FDNY hats and they're standing up, and he goes, good evening, I'm Will McAvoy. Tonight, for the first time in 30 years, the world has no reason to fear Osama bin Laden. And he's like giving this speech and saying about that America's, after our darkest hour, we always prevail. And now here's the president of the United States. And it just ends with Obama giving his speech about them taking out bin Laden.
Yeah.
And it's just ends so perfectly. And it's just, that episode is probably my favorite episode of the series because it balances both humor and seriousness. And yeah, and just the other cast, like Sam Waterston, I forgot the rest of the cast members, they are so good at their role. And and you would think this would be like a parody of a newsroom, but no, this is what an actual newsroom is like. Dan Rather has even praised the show and said, veteran journalist Dan Rather, for those who are too young, and said, this is what it's like being in a newsroom. Wow. And the thing is, like, okay, the second season I wasn't too crazy on because they kind of try to put a story in there, which I wasn't too crazy about, but I didn't think it was bad.
Right.
And the third season, it was only 5 episodes. And what's so sad is you had a good, smart show here.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended at they could have gone so much more with this show. They could have done so. I think the saddest thing about this show ending after 3 seasons is they could have done so much more.
So you're saying that the possibilities were endless in a sense, like
absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like the show they could have. Picture if they did a whole season about the events of 2020.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be
awesome. What happened in 2020 was awesome. Just the possibilities would have been fantastic. Like
absolutely,
this show just ended way too quickly. They, because people don't like shows that are smart and thought-provoking. They'd rather go watch the Kardashians. This show should have... Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm just so sad at this show. It could have went so much.
You're definitely sharing your passion for the newsroom.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am actually. I actually think they could have went so much more, because I remember when I was in college, before I move on to the next one. When I was this is right after I transferred to my 4-year school. Yeah. I remember I had a professor, and the newsroom came up in a way, and I said, "Wait, you watched the newsroom?" He's like, "Yeah, it was one of my favorites." I go, "Oh my God, me too." And then I said, "Damn, I wish this show would have went just a little more." Like, I know, and this was around the time when the 2016 presidential primaries were starting.
Oh, I see.
They could have, when Trump announced, they could have done so much with that.
Right.
And just, oh my God, this is one of these shows that, listen, I could sit here and talk for hours about it, because it was such a good show. I think it ended just so... I think it just really ended it just ended too soon.
Mm-hmm. Aaron
Sorkin could have went on and did more. I don't know if HBO said, "You know what, we got to get rid of it," or because Jeff Daniels actually won an Emmy for this show.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, maybe the network said, "You know what, we got to axe it," or maybe Aaron Sorkin was like, "You know what, we've done enough. Time to call it quits." But you didn't do enough, Aaron. You should have done so much more. You could have done so much more. You know what, JT? I want you to do me a favor. At Aaron Sorkin on Twitter right now.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this. Hey, we at Anna Kendrick one time.
We did, actually. That's true.
Okay, at Aaron Sorkin. Aaron Sorkin, I have a message for you.
I got to find his Twitter first. Hold on. Aaron Sorkin.
Did you find him?
I'm looking for it. Hold on.
Okay, let me find it.
It's okay. I got it.
Okay.
We'll tweet him after the show.
Okay. But anyway, here is my message for Aaron Sorkin. You better be listening here, Aaron. Take notes. Aaron Sorkin, please bring back the newsroom. Bring it back, please. That show... What was that?
You could send fan mail, please.
That show was smart. It was brilliant. The drama was fantastic. And listen, I just want to know, why did you end it? Was it the network? Was it your own personal decision? Please, at BillMurph27, that's my Twitter handle. Please, I'd love to talk to you. Aaron Sorkin, please, tell me why. Please, bring back the newsroom. And one last thing, and then I'll move on. I'm sorry, I keep saying one last thing. It's after The Sopranos ended, my parents actually canceled HBO. And then they renewed their subscription because of Boardwalk Empire, which you've heard me talk about, overrated shows. And then I got into the newsroom. And maybe I'll watch movies on HBO. But then I remember when I started community college, people were telling me, "Hey, have you heard of the show, The Newsroom? It's really good." I'm like, okay. And then I just fell in love with it. So, Aaron Sorkin, I'm calling you out, buddy. Bring back the newsroom.
Bring it back.
I'm not kidding here. Or explain to us, why did you end it?
Aaron Sorkin, we're coming for you.
Oh, no. We don't want to hurt him.
No, of course not.
Would either you're bringing it back or tell me why it ended. That's all I want to know. Gotcha. I just want to say to our fans, don't harass Aaron Sorkin on Twitter. Don't send him threatening messages. Don't harass him or his family. I just would like to know why was the newsroom canceled after 3 seasons, and I want you to bring it back. All right, Sorkin, the ball's in your court, my friend. At me. I'm waiting for you. I await your reply.
Yeah, at Super Review Show. The reason why I did it was because.
Okay. So anyway, okay.
You have one more, right?
I have one more.
All right, talk to me.
Okay, it's a show I maybe need to watch a little bit more of, even though I think it's a little weird. It's called Peaky Blinders.
What is it? Peaky what?
Peaky Blinders.
On HBO, okay.
No, it's on. It's on Netflix.
Hold on, sorry.
I gotta watch more of it, but it seems interesting. I've watched a few episodes. It's about a
I see. Okay, hold on one sec.
It's about an English gang in the 19th century in England.
Okay.
Called Peaky Blinders, and they're also gypsies. It's complicated to explain. But yeah, it's basically Boardwalk Empire sentence in like 19th century, 19-something England. By the order of Peaky fucking Blinders!
Bill, chatboard.
Oh, God. Who is it? Brownies. Thanks, Matt. Oh, which one am I looking at? Okay.
We have someone in the chatboard. Hello, Vincent.
Vincent, how are you? Welcome to the show. And we also got Heidi. Guys, welcome. Please tell us what shows you think are underrated. And welcome. Hope you can watch. Wait, who's Italian, Vincent?
Yeah, if you could tell us who's Italian, that'd be great.
JT, you're half Italian, right?
Oh, I am. Oh, hey, Vincent, welcome to the show. I'm 18 years old from Miami, Florida. Hey, welcome to the show.
Cool.
Thanks for finding us. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see this every week around on Wednesday nights. So
we usually do this Wednesdays. We're doing it Thursday this week because we just had some things.
Yeah, we typically do it from Wednesday nights at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
We've been doing it later though recently.
Yeah, well, then next week will probably be later. But yeah, anyways, if you like what you see here, subscribe to this channel.
Yeah. So guys, tell us your underrated shows too.
Yep. All right. So Bill, you were talking about.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get the Okay, Matt, we're gonna address yours a little later because I want to get through this, and JT wants to get through his list. Yeah, but Peaky Blinders, they like deal with like communists. They deal with the IRA. Like one of my favorite scenes from the show is they have these guys from the IRA, Irish Republicans Army.
Yeah.
And Cillian Murphy, who's the head of Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy, who you may... Okay, one, no relation to me. No relation to me, folks. But you may remember him as Scarecrow from Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, but there's a scene when they're... when he's talking to the IRA guys, he's like, oh, no, whose authority? He goes, the people of Ireland. And he goes, the Irish Republican Army. And then he goes, and then Cillian Murphy's just standing there looking at him, and he's like, you think we're jokers? And he goes, am I laughing? And then the guy just starts going, oh, Father, why are you so sad on this bright Easter morn? And the other guy's like, shut up, we're trying to do business here. When Irishmen are proud and glad of the land where they were born. Shut the fuck up!
Oh, God.
I won't do the rest of the song. And he goes, bravo. And then Cillian Murphy goes, bravo. And then he tosses them out. But yeah, like I said, I think I got to watch more of the show. But there was this one episode when they're like having this big fight. He goes, we're just here to make friends.
Oh boy.
I'm like, okay, you're here with weapons and you want to make friends. Okay, that's not the way to make friends, isn't it, JT?
No, I would not say
it's
so.
It's not really the best way to make friends.
No,
that's the way to
sir.
make enemies, but that's not a way to make maybe acquaintances. It's a good way to make acquaintances.
I would definitely say so.
But maybe not the best way to make friends. We're here to make friends. We have our weapons. And like, not the way to make friends, guys. But yeah, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of it, but I think because at first I watched a few minutes of it, I'm like, I I'm thinking, because my dad was watching it, and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I should give this show another chance.
Gotcha.
So
all right.
Maybe that's what I'll do, because it's basically, and I think it has like a cult fan base, but it's okay. So,
Is that your list?
Over to you, my friend.
Is that your list?
God, I could think of other shit.
I came up with 5 because
okay.
I'm not gonna go crazy because I was thinking about this as you're talking and as other people were talking about other stuff in the chat board and whatnot.
Oh shoot.
Don't worry about
it. With Vincent. Oh God, Vincent, that's horrible. But please, dude, stay safe. Stay safe, buddy.
Yeah, seriously, be careful, right?
Be careful. Stay safe.
To bring that to our attention. Hopefully, everything's okay.
We hope you're all right. Hopefully, if you're a little shaken up, hopefully we're providing you with a little distraction.
Definitely.
You know what? You go on. I'm gonna try to think of some more while you go on.
Bill, why don't you talk on the chat board for me if that's okay?
Yeah, I can look at the chat board.
Because I was doing that while you're going, and I will do it. Well, and you do while I'm going. Iron Man.
All right, sounds good.
So, all right, here you go. So this is the deal. I'm going to start with 2 cartoons that I think are very highly underrated shows. And the first cartoon I'm going to start with. Hold on. Here we go. The first one I'm going to start with is Iron Man Armored Adventures.
Never heard of it.
Okay, here's the dealio, home slices. This show hit me at a very young age. Now, I know, Bill, you and I last week talked about hold on one sec. Sorry, everyone. Basically, so here's the deal. This show, to me, it only lasted 2 seasons. It was kind of a kid show, but at the same time, it was really I thought it was great, to be honest with you. Like I said, it only lasted 2 seasons, but it was just only I thought the show was fantastic. And yes, Tony Stark was a teenager. Yes, Pepper was they're in high school, I thought the show was absolutely fantastic, to be completely honest. And the suits were cool. The second season I thought was excellent. They had all these different stuff in there, all these different elements. Like Iron Man 2099 showed up, and he was sacrificing himself. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this show that only lasted 2 seasons, and his technology was great too. The different suits, as I said, the different characters. This is towards the season finale. Series finale, I should say, which they called it a season finale, even though it was the end of the show. This was the end of the show. Iron Man Rescue, War Machine, Nick Fury, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Black Widow, and Hulk, kind of like the Avengers 2012, team up in a sense to save New York City from this Mandarin-esque attack from outer space. I thought it was a great cartoon to be honest. And if you're looking for a really cool cartoon to watch, to be honest with you, I do recommend Iron Man Armored Adventures. This show I thought was, like I said, I thought it was great. And I still, yes, I have the DVD copy of both seasons. I know I'm super nerdy, whatever. But hey, things happen. So I like this show a lot. The second cartoon I'm going to talk to you guys about is not Danny DeVito. It's Danny Phantom.
Yes, Butch Hartman.
I was going to put Fairly Odd Parents, but I was like, no, I'm not going to put.
In anything, I would say Fairly Odd Parents is basically on the cusp of perfectly rated and overrated.
I would definitely say so with that. This cartoon, man, I got to say, this cartoon was freaking amazing. For a kid show, it was kind of a Ghostbusters ripoff, but the fan art is still there. A lot of people really still like this show. It lasted 3 seasons on Nicktoons or Nickelodeon, if I'm not mistaken. There were so many great. It was kind of like Butch Hartman's own creation. There was talk of a comeback show of it. I thought it got overlooked a lot. Some people only the hardcore nerd ones are a lot of the nerds oh my god, this show was my childhood. I'm I completely agree. The show is great. I actually ate it up when it was on TV. Actually, back in 2004 through 2007.
Oh, I love that show.
It was a great show. I mean, it was a great cartoon. It kind of reminded me, and also there's a lot of fan theories about it still, oh, well, what happened if this? I think this was the series finale. This was the series finale of the show, right here, Phantom Planet. That was a great ending to what a great ending. I remember when it first aired on Nicktoons or Nickelodeon, whatever. It was great. This is a highly underappreciated show in my opinion. It's like really, I thought it was great, and because it's about a 14-year-old kid, he turns into a ghost. It's literally a Ghostbusters ripoff with a kid, but I thought it was great. Anyways, now we're gonna get into I have one super heroic live action TV show and two really, really, really great shows. But here we go. So, anyways, I don't want to waste anyone's time here tonight. So, Bill, tell me if you heard of this. Have you heard of The Greatest American Hero?
I've not.
Oh, see, look, we're 2 for 2 here. We swiped right, my friend. Bill, Bill and I swiped right because we both we're sharing a show that we both have never. I've seen it, but he hasn't, and he told me Newsroom, and I've never heard of it. So tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit more than Danny Phantom and Iron Man Armored Adventures about The Greatest American Hero. This show was a live action TV show in the 80s. It unfortunately lasted 2 seasons. I don't know why it couldn't last like 3 or 4, because it was low budget enough where they could make it, and it was highly successful, to be honest. And it's still like pretty well amongst like the pop culture-esque culture. It's still a very well-known show. There was talk of a rebooted movie for a franchise, because the story of the show is that it's about a high school teacher who is granted the ability with this super suit by aliens, but he lost the instruction manual. I mean, it was very comedic too.
What was the show on?
This show aired in 1982. So I don't know if you would see it on reruns or not, but it was a really like funny show. The girl here was his love interest, the CIA agent. They were going to reboot it at one point on ABC. There's been talk about revitalizing the property, and hopefully they bring it back. I actually have seen this both seasons on DVD and on reruns as well. It was a great show. And it's highly underrated, highly underappreciated. And I think that this show deserves a remake or a reboot or whatever capacity they're talking about. And I'm like, how cool would this look today? That would look sick today. And apparently there's comic book or whatever, like comic book run of it. That someone got the property. Like this is the iconic suit is it's a really great costume, to be honest. Like the design of it's pretty simplistic, but it's really good. I do have to say I really like this show a lot, and I think if you've never heard of The Greatest American Hero, I don't know if it's on Netflix or not, but you might want to get on the bandwagon of, dare I say it, buying a DVD copy or somehow finding a way to stream it. I do recommend it, though. It's a very funny show because it's about a high school teacher, as I said, who gets the ability to have a super suit, but he lost the instruction manual. Come on. Why not? You know? It's pretty clever. It's a good premise. All right. So anyways, Greatest American Hero. I highly recommend it for those of you who have never heard of it or seen it. I do recommend it a lot. All right. Anyways, let's get to it. The West Wing. I know Bill has something to say about this. I'm gonna let him chime in a second. Confession: I have not seen all of The West Wing, but when it was on TV in like 99, 97, whatever, it was a brilliant drama. Martin Sheen and Rob Lowe, like holy crap, this show was amazingly groundbreaking. I thought, look, it hit me at a young age too. I watched it until it was like literally from 99 to 2006. Look at that on NBC. It was such a great show. It was a drama, yeah, but like, come on. How could you not love The West Wing? Bill, do you have any comments for The West Wing before I go on?
Yeah, I actually just watched it about a year or so ago. I watched the whole thing when it was on Netflix. Now it's on HBO Max, but
yeah,
I've seen every episode.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know if I would call it underrated, but maybe nowadays, but
I mean, most political shows now, I don't want to say political, but like some shows today are like In my eyes, it's underappreciated, maybe not underrated, but it's underappreciated in my opinion.
But I think this maybe set the stage for shows like House of Cards and Scandal.
Oh, absolutely. I think it definitely.
I would say it set the stage because I think without the West Wing, there'd be no House of Cards.
I completely agree with that.
Matt Hamilton says, "Aaron Sorkin, I'm waiting."
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to remind Aaron Sorkin that I'm waiting. But anyway, yeah, no, I really like the show.
I thought it was great.
Sheen, Rob Lowe. I think my personal favorite. So I love Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, go on.
I really like Richard Schiff in it. Yeah, but I think it's just a really good show.
Yeah, I will go. I won't say it's underrated. Even though this show is called underrated TV shows, I think it's underappreciated for what it is.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think
I'll probably
give it that. Okay, you know what? I think it's probably on the cusp between underrated and perfectly rated.
I would say I would definitely agree with it's on the cusp there for sure.
It's on the cusp between underrated and perfectly rated.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, I really do think it's underappreciated heavily because it's like I remember being on TV and I was like, wow, this is really good stuff.
Like I remember there was one episode, it was like during the second election of Martin Sheen's character, and Bradley Whitford's character is going to the polls to vote, and he comes back and they're asking and people asking him going, wait, I voted for the president of both the Democratic and the statehood party. He goes, you got to vote for one or the other, but I'm pro statehood. Well, your vote's not going to count. And then they're asking him all these questions. We're going to lose in the biggest landslide in history because people don't know how to fill out their freaking ballots. And then they're asking him stupid quick, one party, one vote. And then somebody goes, Josh, I have a message for you from Tony Ziegler. I have a message for you from Tony Ziegler, Richard Schiff's character. $10. I'm like, wait, what? And then they're looking at him and goes, what are you guys, like some sort of theater troupe? He's like, yes, we are. Do you want our card? He's like, no, I don't want your card. Going, yeah, Tony Ziegler thought to kind of make you laugh a little bit because he knows how stressed you get during elections.
Yeah.
So but the drama, I'm sorry I'm taking over. I know it's your show, but
go ahead.
Perfect episode is the second season finale. It's called Two Cathedrals.
Okay.
What happens is in the episode prior, Martin Sheen's assistant in the show is killed in a car accident.
Okay.
And they're at the he's at the funeral. And then after the funeral, he asks everyone to leave, and he's in this cathedral, and he's just screaming to God. He's like, was this enough for you? You sick son of a bitch. And then he's like, and he actually curses at God in Latin.
Oh, wow.
Because fun fact, that show was in Latin. They actually made that in Latin to get past the censors.
I didn't know that. That's really clever, actually.
It was actually their clever little way of getting past the censors.
Wow, that's pretty smart on NBC's part.
And then he walks out and he's like debating whether if he's going to run again for president, and because he kind of lied to the country about him not having MS, which he did, and he's under investigation now, and he's going to announce that he's not going to run. And then the ghost of that woman comes back and goes, I lost their trust. He goes, you'll gain it back. And say, listen, if you want to run, if you don't want to run because you feel it's up, then fine. But if you're going to, is it because of my death? I don't feel sorry for you. And then when Sheen's character is going to the podium to make an announcement, and they're playing the Dire Straits song "Brothers in Arms," and you could just see, because it's pouring rain outside, and he just looks down on his luck.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ask him, Mr. President, are you going to run again? And then the episode just ends.
Oh,
wow.
Like,
I think that is like a perfect season finale right there.
That's I would definitely say that is a good season, a great season finale. Excuse me.
Yeah, season 2, and yeah, and I will say, West Wing. I think you know how some shows go on too long, and some shows.
Let me guess. This one ended perfectly.
I think it ended fine.
Okay.
Like there was actually talks that they were going to reboot it.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
They actually recently did an election special, but I didn't watch it. I didn't have the chance to watch it.
Okay.
But there was talks that they were actually going to reboot it. But thinking about it, they were saying, you know what? Is there really a point in bringing it back?
Mm-hmm.
Because some characters, and I don't mean this to be an asshole, some characters have basically outlived their usefulness.
I could see that.
Because, like, listen, as much as I love Bradley Whitford's character, what can you use him for now?
Yeah, right.
As much as I loved Allison Janney, what can you use her for now? Like, basically, a lot of these characters have... Richard Schiff, what can you use him for? Right. A lot of these characters have basically outlived their usefulness. And I think West Wing ended perfectly when it did. So...
Good comment.
What'd you say?
I said good comment. Good point.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say underrated. I would say maybe on the cusp between underrated and perfectly rated.
I think it's like I going back to what I said. I don't think it's underrated now that I think about it, but I think it's more underappreciated for what it was. If you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, and I think this was one of the shows that got Aaron Sorkin big.
Oh, absolutely. I think you could definitely feel his touch on it. So,
hey, Matt Hemsley, just a lot of political science majors are obsessed with it. I was a political science minor and I was obsessed with it. I've heard people who entered politics because they were inspired by the West Wing. Oh, that's interesting.
I never knew that.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Matt. But yeah, I think it's perfectly rated. Maybe on the cusp of being underrated because it's kind of been slightly forgotten about. But
I mean, I
would say on the cusp, but it leans more towards perfectly rated. But that's just my opinion.
Okay, no, I agree. I see where you come from. So you ready?
Yeah, let's move on. And Aaron Sorkin, I'm waiting.
He's waiting.
Waiting.
Everybody loves Raymond.
I don't love Raymond.
Look, I have to tell you the truth, and I will go. I will go so far as to say this show is underrated and underappreciated by a big milestone. Because hear me out for a second. I have a life outside of the Super Review Show. I do.
Does he?
Or does he? I do watch TV from time to time, and I catch reruns of this show a lot on TV Land or on Cozy TV, one of those channels, right? The comedy of Ray Romano stands up so much. It holds up so well, to be completely honest with you. This show has like a 7 out of 10 on IMDb user ratings, but in my humble opinion, it's very underrated and underappreciated for the comedic genius of Ray Romano and the whole cast of Robert, his wife, who was played by Patricia Heaton. It was great. There were so many great, and obviously, how could we forget Frank Poole, who played the grandfather or the father, and Doris Roberts, who played Marie. Like, come on, this show is unbelievably underrated in my opinion. Because yes, it had an audience, yes, it had viewers, but at the same time, if you think of the all-time great TV show sitcoms, you think of Seinfeld, you think of Friends. If you want to go as far as to say, you can think of Frasier, you think of Cheers. This one is kind of at the bottom of the list for a lot of people, and I think it should be higher. To be completely honest, the underappreciated and underrated are the two best words to describe this show for me, because I was alive when it was on. I was very young, but like I didn't see it was on TV, but when the reruns of it are just so funny. There is so much great humor in this show. Listen, Bill, but just letting you know, out of all the shows I meant to talk about today, this is probably the one I was the most interested in talking about, because this one to me is hysterical. Like it's great comedy about a family in the suburbs of Lynbrook, New York, and how him and Ray and his family interact, how they hang out. And it's I think it's underrated by far. Bill, I'm sure you're itching to tell me something.
Yeah, I've never really sat down. I've watched a few episodes here and there. I wouldn't really say it's one of my favorites, but what I see, it's funny. Some of it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to call you out, but that's what you're one of the people. You're the type of person who I think would really like the show more if you watch, like, I forget watching it in seasonal order. Just go on TV Land. They broadcast like every episode ever. And you just catch like just one episode of like the arguments between Ray and his wife and Robert and the Frank Doyle. I think Frank not Poole. Frank Doyle is his name. This guy right here. And Doris Roberts. I think it's I cannot emphasize this enough. If you have never seen any episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, I highly recommend it. It's a very funny, timeless, keyword there, timeless show. So, Bill, any other comments for anybody? But I can go on. Like you can go on about Newsroom. I can go on about this.
If you want to go on, go on. But no, how long are we going to be here for?
I mean, well, we've been going for over an hour. Just saying.
This won't be another 3-hour show, folks. I promise.
Maybe next week it will. Who knows?
When you get all of us together, it's nothing but trouble. But anyway,
underrated
especially when you get Hemsley involved.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great time next week, guys.
When you get Justin, and especially when you get Alex and Eric, and when you get Hemsley involved, trouble starts.
Oh, he's calling
Matt. I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding.
I think like
you're probably the most normal out of all of us. So that with a badge of honor. Anyway,
so like I said, I think that honestly, the show is highly underappreciated and underrated. I think that Ray Romano's comedy writing is superb, to be completely honest with you. And I think that he has this is one of those timeless shows. You could just watch it. I could watch it when I'm 50 years old, and I could say I can remember watching that when I was younger. And I think I could. I really do believe that. That's the beauty of sitcoms to some extent, or really good television, or really good anything will stand the test of time. Really good songs.
Some of them are dated. Some sitcoms can be dated, though.
Yeah. Like I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I think it's more because it's more for like the legacy status, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like there's certain episodes where she's like stomping on the grapes and stuff like that. That's not many people do that today, but yeah. So,
but anyway, you know what? And I hate to bring back control for a sec, but when you were saying I'm listing off shows like Seinfeld and Friends,
Cheers, Frasier.
Cheers. I think Frasier's actually pretty underrated.
Do you want to add that to your list?
Yeah, sure.
All right, it's Bill's turn. And like I said, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Wait, did you have more to go on your list, or
those were my 5?
Yeah, but
those were my 5.
Frasier is pretty underrated, in all honesty. I've seen episodes here and there. I think it's one of those shows that is sort of stuffy, but it tries not to be stuffy, if that makes sense.
Now, Bill, you're gonna kill me. I have never seen Frasier.
You've never watched Frasier?
No, and I know this is the part where I get the shame called, but like,
oh, everyone, shame.
However, I know that it's the show. It is the show that, technically speaking, Seinfeld launched in a sense. It was on a Seinfeld spinoff, but it's like it had the Jerry dated a girl who became one of the main cast members. I forget her name, but the virgin from Seinfeld. She became one of the cast members of Frasier.
No, Frasier's not a Seinfeld spinoff.
No, I know it's not, but I'm saying that there's a cast member. I don't know her name.
Frasier is actually a spinoff of Cheers.
I know that, but I'm saying there's a cast member here who, I forget her name. Jane Leaves. She was a girlfriend of Jerry's on Seinfeld. It's funny how like they're all intertwined in a sense, you know. Like with Seinfeld connecting to that could be that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, Kelsey Grammer is Frasier.
I don't. It's not in the same universe, though.
No, it's not in the same timeline or anything.
This is not the Seinfeld cinematic universe.
That's Seinfeld cinematic universe. Crossover between Seinfeld, Frasier, Cheers, and Everybody Loves Raymond, all in one area.
I hear those blues are calling, sauce salad and scrambled eggs.
Oh my god.
But no, I think it's just like the perfect show that's highbrow but not too highbrow. It's not like those, yeah, so sophisticated. He made a joke in Latin. Yes, so sophisticated. No, but I really do like Frasier. I think it is. And John Mulaney, may he rest in peace. And
plus out of the main five we just mentioned, Seinfeld, Friends, Frasier, Cheers, and Everybody Loves Raymond, I think this might be the most, out of the big three on NBC at the time, this might be the least talked about of that run, of those three in the 90s, like Seinfeld, Frasier.
Well, that was the show, that was one of Kelsey Grammer's big.
Oh yeah.
He later became an asshole, but
of course.
But yeah, I think this is one of the most, because everybody knows Seinfeld. Unfortunately, everybody knows Friends.
Exactly.
If you want to go watch what we have to say about Friends, go watch when we did our most overrated TV shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is your weekly reminder that Friends is overrated.
Yes, sir. The fan bases too.
Yeah, come at us.
Yeah, fight us, internet.
But anyway, I don't think I have anything else. I think
we did good.
There's one show on CBS that I think is sort of underrated.
Which one?
It's called The Neighborhood.
You want to talk about it's your call. You want to talk about it or no?
I'll talk about it a little bit.
The Neighborhood. Not the band, sorry.
The
band.
All right. The show.
This show.
Yeah. This show stars Cedric the Entertainer, and I don't remember what the other guy's name is. It's about a white family who moves into a predominantly black neighborhood. Like, I like the show. My only thing is sometimes I wish there was like a little more social commentary, but all the rest, I think it's funny. And
would you say it's underrated?
Yeah, I think it is kind of underrated, or I'm just slowly running out of steam right now.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. I just don't think it gets enough credit. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm done. You have any more to say?
I'm good. I mean, I was gonna say one, but like I'm not even gonna bother.
Go ahead. What is it?
I thought about it more. I was gonna say the X-Files is underappreciated, but then again, it's one of the most critically acclaimed and most praised shows ever. So I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna get into this because the fan base is gonna kill me. But you know what show I think is underrated?
What?
And the fan base is gonna hurt me for this one. I think the Cleveland Show is kind of underrated.
Okay. Whatever.
I know the Family Guy fanboys hate that. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's perfect, but I think it was interesting to give Cleveland a character less thought about a show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for that. I mean, whenever I see one of those like Family Guy, Cleveland Show, American Dad, I see one. They all look the same because it's the same kind of like drawing and stuff, the same kind of animation. Are we good? Did we touch on everything?
I think we did touch on everything.
I definitely think we did. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching tonight. For all of you who joined us, I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you have a great, wonderful week. You will be back next Wednesday this time, talking about underrated films. Not underrated TV shows, but underrated films. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversation there. In fact,
we may have Matt Hemsley back.
I've had requests to be on. I've had requests for people to be on the show.
This is like our most requested.
So we'll see exactly who will have next week for sure when the time comes. But I will let you guys know that right now we're probably going to have at least 5 or 6 people again. I'm talking about our underrated movies that we think are underrated. Batman and Robin. I'm kidding.
That might start problems.
I'm just kidding. You know that.
And I just have one more thing to say.
Yes, Bill. Go ahead. Finish it up.
Aaron Sorkin, I'm waiting.
Oh, my God.
I want that answer, please.
Aaron Sorkin, if you're watching this, please tweet us at Super Review Show to get Bill's answer back.
Oh, you know what he's going to be tweeting me? He's probably going to be tweeting me a restraining order.
Not a restraining order from Anna Kendrick, but a restraining order from Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, I would be like, well, guys, guess what? I didn't get a restraining order from Anna Kendrick, but I got a restraining order from Aaron Sorkin. Which one do you think is worse?
Oh, boy.
Which would be worse to get a restraining order from, Anna Kendrick or Aaron Sorkin?
Anna Kendrick, dude.
Yes.
Yes, that's.
By the way, Anna, call me.
Bill, I just want to do a quick plug for our Super Review Show store. You can check that out on the channel. Buy sweatshirts, sweatpants, mugs, you name it. We have a Super Review Show store. It's in the link for this video. You can check it out on your own.
By the way, also, the shirt with our favorite slogans on it is in there.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, we want to say it together?
Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Thanks,
COVID. There's a shirt that now says "Thanks, COVID" in the Super Review Show store, and any possible sales of it goes directly to Bill, and his pocket, his money. I just want to let you guys know
the Bill Foundation.
Oh, the Bill. Oh, I thought we were gonna have plug Sports Insanity's podcast, you know.
And also, yes, Sports Insanity podcast. Check us out. We are on all platforms. Check us out. We're awesome.
They are awesome. And you can find me simply here at the Super Review Show's YouTube channel. And hopefully you guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week for our underrated movie discussion. See you guys.